Captain's Log 001. Yep, that's what we're going to call it. And so what does it look like? What are we doing right now in our day-to-day life? What does it look like? It's pretty mundane. It's pretty repetitive. It's pretty just getting the work done. Right now we are actually working on a social project, nothing too crazy for McDonald's. And they're doing some social content that we will showcase to you later. I can't show it right now because we're in the midst of post. And once they release it, I'll post it, but you guys can check it out on social media once it's up there. But this week, nothing too crazy. We have basically some animation projects, internal work for Amazon, and then also doing these social cuts for McDonald's. And so the day-to-day life, what it looks like for me is essentially outreach and making sure systems run efficiently and building up systems and making sure that everything runs smoothly. From time to time, since we are a boutique post-production house, it is times where I jump in and I actually am the editor on the project or doing some kind of design project for whatever, whether it's the animation or something of that nature. And those are the only things I ever hit personally. But I actually wanted to showcase a little something that I'm working on that is kind of related to this, but super helpful for a business, people who are just trying to do something, or it might just be an interesting idea for you guys to do. Right now I am preparing for AICP award week in New York. And so I will be going out there in June of this year, and basically it's a location where all the people from AICP, which if you don't know what AICP is, go ahead and check it out. It's pretty awesome. It's basically the Association of Independent Commercial Producers. And so it's an association, but there's a lot of companies that are in the commercial world, like post-production houses such as United, commercial production companies, and basically like color houses, VFX houses, sound studios, all the above. And so this week's pretty awesome because it gets you an opportunity to network, but also get to see all of the awesome work that has been awarded throughout the year. So in this week, they also do a lot of trainings, which is pretty cool. And so I'm looking forward to that and seeing if I can bring something back for you guys. So what I'm working on right now is actually a landing page for a business card. And so I didn't like the idea of a digital business card, and I didn't like the idea of just a physical business card. And so I decided to marry the two and create a business card with just a simple URL on it that goes to a off link on the website of United and basically has the information and also showcases what we do and how to get in contact with me. So hopefully this is an idea that might be helpful for you guys, but it's something that I think will be pretty cool. I don't know how it's going to perform since the URL that we're using is uph.house, which is repetitive, but it just looks cool and it works. But I just wanted it to be a little bit different than all the thousands of business cards that are going to be out there. And especially during this week, it would be, I think, something that would land a little bit better. And it's just something easy to remember, and they're already going on their phone, so why not just type in uph.house and it brings them all the contact they need and they can navigate from one web portal. Now from week to week, there is a lot of times where I'm developing some kind of system that just works better for our work and what we need to do. I'm also working on a streaming web application where we can actually go on here and do live streaming of the edits that we're doing or showcase the color, and clients can sit in and watch it. Now this isn't new or anything different. I just wanted something where it's super controllable and better to use than Zoom or whatever else is out there. Now I do want to talk a little bit about the systems that we use because I think it's super helpful as a business owner to develop the systems that you're using in whatever environment that you're in, not just in editing and post world, although in post-production, pipeline is super important in what you do. So having the right pipeline and how you can move things around, super flexible, in and out, and move parts around is super important. Some of the tools that I already utilize is Discord and Notion. I love these two tools. They're so helpful for me, and I personally believe it's a better option for creating custom workspaces without having to do so much programming. Now I do take it a step further and develop outside scripts to actually utilize and connect these two, and they have webhooks that you can utilize and connect both of these platforms. But Notion is really great for any kind of platform. We utilize this for our team. We have project statuses in here. We have our partners who we have in our list and our outreach systems in here. Since we're not doing scale outreach, it's really helpful for us to keep it in Notion. Notion doesn't handle thousands upon thousands upon thousands of requests when you're putting in all of your customers. So if you had like 20,000 customers that you're doing subscriptions for, this wouldn't be best fit for that, since it would probably get overloaded as a CRM. We utilize this to keep in contact with our people and to make sure that we're staying on top of our leads, but also just to make sure that we're staying engaged with our partners and making sure that we understand what's happening in their lives and they understand what's happening in our lives. I personally also use this for payroll systems, where I can have payrolls here and I can link it to projects, and I can link invoices to projects as well, all through Notion, which I find is pretty cool. And on Discord, the reason I don't use Slack is because I felt like Slack was a little bit too business-minded and corporate. And what I mean by that is I want to build a company that is super relational and super intentional about community and one another. Discord, I think, allows for the marriage of what we do as a post house with our streaming and our video, and also great connection and community. A couple things I'm running after personally as the owner of United Post House is really going after the outreach and partners that we have. Now, this is a long game, and it's not by any means a short-term picture. It's not going after the idea of like, oh, how can I get a quick connect? It's really going after the people that we want to work with, but actually being intentional about who they are in their life and not just be meandering around. I personally think that it's very important to actually take interest in their lives and to actually want to know what's happening in their lives, not just say that or just pretend that, and it's really mutually just wanting to get money, but to actually genuinely have a relationship with these people. I think that is the biggest thing that can set you apart as a company, is when you go after short-term relations. You can do that and pretend that you're about them, but over time you're going to find out pretty quickly that you either don't care about them or what you say just is meaningless. So it's really having volume behind the words that you say to these people and the partners that you have. So that's really what we're going after for our long game, and this is something that, you know, we kind of take into factor. It's going to take about a year to get a partner that is very trustworthy, that trust us, and that we can build something on top of as we go on. It's again very important, not just like who you know, but like actually know who they are, and to actually see if you can change their lives in any way that you can add value to them. And it's not just to add value to get value, but it's to add value genuinely just because I want to add value to your life. And I think that's the biggest distinction in this industry that a lot of people don't do. They'll do a lot of I scratch your back, you scratch mine, which is fine, especially with the mutual understanding, but that's not something that I personally want to strive after as a company and as an individual. So the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be keeping you guys up to date with what's happening with AICP week as we prepare for that. In June, I'm hoping that I can bring back some super awesome content for you guys to just help you understand this industry better, but also to propel you in this industry better, whether you're an editor, producer, or whatever. And I believe they just call them seminars, but a lot of those like lessons or just seminars that they're going to be having is apparently super insightful. Not just your typical like seminar, like, oh, like here's generic information that you can just Google. This is actual information that is very deep and knowledgeable. So really looking forward to that. I was speaking with one of the board of directors, and he was just talking about how amazing these weeks are. I've never been to this before, so I think this is going to be super interesting to see, and also just kind of report back on. Later this week, I am going to actually be doing a edit breakdown of a American Eagle ad that I saw recently that I just thought was really cool, and I wanted to actually break it down for you guys on that, so make sure to check that out later. And that edit is done by one of the editors at HousePost, and I'll showcase the URL and all of that you guys can check it out. But yeah, so that's the log for this past week. What the goal is moving forward for this week is continue doing outreach on LinkedIn, as well as just email outreach that we've already been doing. But we have a couple calls next week with other post houses that we are just connecting with, and then some companies that represent directors and things of that nature that we're going to be hopping on a call with. So I'll keep you posted on things with that and see how that goes. And most of the time, these calls are just genuinely building a relationship, building an understanding of who each other are, and just kind of going off of that. If you guys ever have any questions about how I operate, in my business, or just questions of things that might sound interesting that I say on these videos, by all means drop in a comment and I will try to get back to all these comments. I'm gonna go ahead and close the log here. Keep building, and I'll see you guys next time.